All right, cool, cool. Whew. Yeah, Robert, I agree with you. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I think I agree with you that it'll never happen, but I've heard a lot of people saying that it will happen. Um, Thank you for joining, Robert. You've always been super supportive and appreciate that. But wanted to, yeah, just before I start here, make sure that you guys can actually hear me, because a friend of mine and I were discussing that the other day at lunch, and we were kind of debating back and forth. He thought it would happen, and I thought it wouldn't. So anyway, let's see. We got all my stuff in the way here. So I think that Jehovah's Witnesses can't. Um, hey there. I think that Jehovah's Witnesses can't let this go. It's not. It's kind of weirdly like the blood transfusion thing. They can't let this go. The no birthdays, the birthdays ban, and this is even though the birthday ban is, in my opinion, pretty ridiculous. I think we all agree. Two examples in the Bible that say that you can't um, celebrate birthdays, or that birthdays somehow went bad. Like there was Pharaoh where the cupbearer gets executed, and then there was the other birthday where John the Baptizer gets executed. So, I mean, if you use that logic and you follow that to its conclusion, it's almost, I think the analogous thing would be uh, because the Israelites were disloyal to God while they were wandering the desert, that basically, they're out in the desert, they're wandering the desert, therefore, you shouldn't be able to go hiking in any arid areas. It has nothing to do with the activity of a birthday. And it's kind of ridiculous. Like if you lived in Tucson, Arizona, okay, no hiking in the desert because the Israelites got out of hand for that. That was kind of what I thought the actual analog of it would be. And so we were thinking about this. Um, and basically, it's such an absurd policy, but I don't think they can go back. Not only with the old school Jehovah's Witnesses, the JWs who had the the Jehovah's Witnesses who were trying to, who just were going to be like, no, we absolutely can't do that. That it's been ingrained in them so long. Obviously, they would lose some of them, so I think can't do that. But I think there is another reason why Jehovah's Witnesses will never allow birthdays, and I think it's because it would completely disrupt their entire social dynamic. I mean, think about what would happen if you suddenly allowed birthdays in the congregation. I always think about how, forgive me, coffee time. I always think about how they always want us to widen out. I remember back when we had congregation book studies, you could be close with your 15, 18 people that are in your book study group. But it's so hard to be close with 100 people in the congregation. And if you have 100 people in the congregation, you're talking about 2 birthday parties every week. And you're not supposed to be at all like cliquish because that would ruin the organization, because it hurt people get their feelings hurt, they get stumbled. I didn't get, nobody did my birthday party. Can you imagine the huge mess that would be? And so I kind of don't think they can go back on it. And it's weirdly kind of like the blood transfusion thing. They've done so much, they've ingrained people so much with this idea that blood transfusions are bad. And then also people have died because they couldn't get medical care that they needed. And so now if they change that, they'd just be open to lawsuits. Now, this is different, but I think that it would completely destroy the Jehovah's Witness social system. They can't let that stuff go, uh, because if what happens if you, first of all, the first option is, are they going to start announcing birthdays from the platform to tell people that they oh, it's blah blah's birthday, blah blah blah's birthday, so that nobody forgets? That's not going to work. What if they didn't do that, but what if somebody's birthday gets forgotten and then their feelings get hurt and then they're stumbled? It just doesn't make any sense to me that they would ever be able to get rid of this practice. Yeah, born JW. A JW birthday party would be creepy. I don't know why. um, uh, does anybody know of a person being disfellowshipped for celebrating a birthday? No, I don't. But a friend of mine, a friend of the channel, and a friend of mine, was talking to me the other day about how her mom went to a her birth or her son's birthday party. So there's grandma, there's mom, and there's son. And the grandma, who is active Jehovah's Witness, went to the birthday party and got her grandson a present, and nobody made a deal out of it. So I think they'd probably kind of lean toward, a don't ask, don't tell type of situation. Um, and uh, yeah, I think they just couldn't do that. It can't. Um, and thank you very much for the like there. I appreciate it. They can't do that. Um, it is sort of like a blood transfusion. Once they've painted themselves into the corner on these ridiculous practices, they just can't get out. And so, like I was saying when I first went live, I literally think, they always say you can't do birthdays because 2 birthdays in the Bible went super bad, and two people were killed. Obviously, God is trying to tell us that He does not like birthdays. Well, that's hilarious. Like the analogy there does not. I mean, first of all, that's not how things work. But Jesus literally never said no birthdays. They have 1,600 pages, I think it is, and not once does it say no birthdays, and it says just about everything else. But 2 birthday parties went bad. Um, what is that? I think the reason they double down, there's a couple reasons they double down on no birthdays. Number one, nobody should feel special ever as a Jehovah's Witness. You don't get to feel special. Hey there, JW Apostate family. Good morning. So you don't get to feel special as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So you don't get a special day. And Fallon and I just had our birthdays, and it was fun, and we had our special days. It was great because our birthdays are just a few days apart in August. But you're not allowed to feel special. If you have individual Jehovah's Witnesses feeling special, then you're cooked because they're gonna they're gonna start thinking for themselves. They're gonna start maybe thinking a little too much of themselves because hey, I had a special day. They don't want that. They don't want any individual Jehovah's Witness feeling special at all. But the other reason is, like I said, that if you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses and say you're in a congregation of 100 people, and on average, that means you have one birthday party every 3 days, basically. So that's insane. I mean, every 3.5 days, you're gonna have a birthday party. Nobody could keep up with that. And the problem is, it's not like normal friendship groups. Normal friendship groups, like I was watching Seinfeld the other day, and Jerry's like, no thanks, because some guy wants to be his friend. No thanks, I already have 3 friends. It's the same thing. You can't have that many friends and maintain that. You just are constantly doing maintenance. In addition to all the meetings, there would literally be 0 nights off. You would have to be at a birthday party or at the Kingdom Hall every night of your life, every day of your life. It just doesn't work. So socially, it doesn't work. And then, of course, if you have one person who's particularly popular, has lots of friends, they have a big birthday bash, and then you cut to that, we all know, maybe I was the one, the unpopular one in the congregation. Nobody really is like excited to hang out with him, blah, blah, blah. And then you cut to him and nobody does a birthday for him. He's gonna get stumbled. So I've heard a lot of comments online about how they would be able to add birthdays. I mean, it makes a little sense because you're thinking about higher education, beards, toasting. They're changing so many things. But I think they're stuck on birthdays, even though they don't have a good reason for them. Now, let me look at the comments here. Yeah, right. We celebrate graduation parties, anniversaries, weddings, but not the day you were born. Yeah, thank you. And at 38, my wife got me a cake the other day for my birthday for the first time. Hey, that's where I was. When I was 38, I turned 38. That was my first birthday. And me and my ex-wife and our friends, whenever they give us a cake, they always put our birthday on it as if, like, from the first one we celebrated. So what does that mean? I'm 7 now. So um, and it said, I noticed there's another comment here from JW Apostate family. My wife and I, our entire social network collapsed since we haven't been going to the meeting. Been called agents of Satan for questioning old light. I'm sorry that happened. It gets so much better. The logic with not celebrating birthdays is beyond insanity. They celebrate baby showers and virtually every other thing in life. It's celebrating life. It is celebrating life, and we should be celebrating that. And you know what? Birthdays are fun. We went bowling, we went out to dinner, and we had a great time. It was a lovely, lovely evening. I felt a little uncomfortable, but that's just, whenever it's like you don't know where to look when they're singing the happy birthday song. It's kind of funny. But it is absolutely absurd, the reasons for not celebrating birthdays. And at the beginning of this, I mentioned that it's a weird thing to say that there's 2 bad birthdays in the Bible, and that means you can't celebrate birthdays. And by that logic, Jehovah's Witnesses should never be allowed to hike in the desert because the Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years and did things, and things didn't go well. They worshipped a calf. They fornicated with the local people from Canaan, if you want to say it like JW's, and they did all these bad things out in the desert. Therefore, Jehovah's Witnesses today shouldn't wander the desert. So no hikes in Tucson, Arizona for you. It makes absolutely no sense. Robert, he said, I still can't celebrate anything. I've tried, but it does feel weird at first. It really does, and then it starts feeling fun. But yeah. So, thanks for the happy birthdays. And their logic is ridiculous. And it just, when I was sitting down at lunch the other day with my friend Ed, who is also an ex-JW, Ed and I were discussing this, and I think we came to agreement that there's no way they can allow birthdays because it would destroy the social structure of the congregation. They can't do it. So, I mean, I'll eat that later. It just doesn't work. They're kind of stuck, and now they have a baseless, ridiculous ban on something that's completely innocuous. It should be fine to make people feel special, but because they force this social network of widening out in the congregation, you have to be friends with everybody. You absolutely just have to be best friends with everybody in your congregation, and you can't ever form cliques. Remember they said that? They literally, I've heard them from the platform discouraging being close friends with somebody, because that means you're gonna, you always go out in service with that, with your best buddy. You always do, fun stuff with your best buddy, but you left out, who's what's it's Joe Blow over here, and that's kind of ridiculous. It messes up people's ability to make meaningful relationships, and as if the social demands of being a JW weren't already insane. They don't want you to have close friends. And I think part of that might be because close friends might start talking and thinking together, you know what, I kind of think that was weird what they said from the platform. I can trust you because we're super close. They don't want anybody to feel special. They don't want anybody to have close friends. And now, because they've said you have to be friends with everybody in your congregation, there's no way they can do birthdays. People would be stumbled. I think that if they allowed birthdays, they would easily lose 25 to 30% of their congregation or their membership. So. Anyway, short one today. Let me read a couple of the comments before we go. Sammy Mayfield, happy birthday, baby. I think the creepiest birthday song's got to be the Marilyn Monroe one, though. That's really off-putting. JW Apostate Family says, my best man ratted me out to the elders after we talked about Old Late. I think they will lose members, but new people going to college may help balance the budget. The college thing was so weird to me. I was like, are you guys serious? Like, what if they take a science class and realize that evolution is not the straw man argument that the creation book and then now the newer like 10, 15-year-old brochures about that say? It's crazy. Oh, sorry, my mic audio is low. I apologize about that. I'll have to adjust that. But we're actually basically wrapping it up right here. Thank you guys so much for joining this little random live and joining me for some espresso. I hope you guys have a great day. And just again, thank you so much. And I hope you're all completely free of the cult this week and you're having a nice day and having a positive experience. If anybody's still stuck in the religion, then our hearts go out to you because we've been there and it takes time to get out sometimes, but be patient. This is absolutely the best life ever on the outside of this organization. Hi, buddy. I've got my little dog here. I've got my espresso. I'm going to have my toast. Thank you, guys. Hope you're having a great day, and cheers. I'll talk to you later.